I went back to the scene, yeah, because where I had just dropped her off at, that's where it happened at. It was taped off with caution, but I did see her laying in the street.
I opened the door and said, "Let's go." And I took off running, and I ran the whole way down because I just had to get to my baby.
Simply because I told my community and the public that I was going to catch these guys that committed this terrible crime in my county. And I worked along with my investigators to do exactly that.
Then, this afternoon, seen here, deputies arrested a fourth suspect.
If you haven't already, be sure to watch part 1. You can click the ribbon at the top right corner or the links in the description below. Also, watch this video to the end so you don't miss out on any important details. None of the Sweet 16 party's organizers or attendees expected the night would end like it did, as 14-year-old Ajanaye Hill and 15-year-old Samuel Moon ran away from the chaos. Unfortunately, they'd never make it home. In hopes of serving justice, the initial reward of $20,000 for information in the case doubled. 10 days following the senseless incident, Douglas County Sheriff's Office announced they'd made an arrest. Actually, they'd made multiple arrests. Since that troubling night, more details have emerged. An unnamed 17-year-old who was one of the 7 who survived shared how he sprang into action as discharges rang out. Initially, he ran behind a house for cover. When the discharges ceased, he ran back out in search of his friends. The teen shared that he found one who had been wounded in her leg and got her into a vehicle. He then saw another friend who had been wounded in the shoulder and put her in the car as well.
Did you feel like a superhero that day?
No.
You were just doing what had to be done?
Yeah.
He was one of those hit.
I was grazed.
Where?
In my back. I found one of my friends. We got in her car, but she was shot in her leg.
He went to get his car and returned and put her inside. I asked, how did he keep his composure?
I just had to do what had to be done.
The boy's mother, Jenny Gibson Drake, said he loved superheroes growing up, which was attributed to his caring heart. Drake said when she heard about what her son had done, she was afraid for him. The mother also shared that the 17-year-old didn't call her to tell her what had happened.
For me, I was scared, and I asked them, why didn't you call and tell us what was going on? He said, Mom, I needed to find my friends. I needed to make sure my friends were okay.
Jenny stated that she believed that having to witness and experience such tragedies will have negative impacts on the teens at the party for years to come, and encouraged therapy as a tool they'd need to be comfortable with. 5 days following the incident, which left the community shaken, a prayer walk was held in the teens' honor. A grieving community of both young teens and parents came together and walked through the neighborhood to the very spot where 7 were wounded and 2 lost their lives.
The city is working its tail off to try to create programs, to create youth programs. They are doing an excellent job. However, a lot of the community doesn't really know about these different programs. And so the community, this is what we're here, the community has to get involved to see this change.
Samuel's mother, Beverly Leffler, spoke to the media regarding the indescribable pain she felt after losing her son. She stated that she was experiencing an emptiness in her heart that would not go away. Samuel was her youngest child. She also shared that she was unaware he had attended the house party, as she had taken him to spend the night at a friend's house. Furthermore, while she allowed her children to attend parties at event spaces and so forth, their family had a rule specifically against house parties. The LaFleur and Moon family said Samuel was the life of their home, always smiling and laughing, and his infectious personality extended beyond their home. Samuel was a typical teen who loved video games, his family, and making other people happy.
Could really describe my actual feeling. I'm very devastated. Every emotion you can think of is going through me. Sadness, anger. Our family, we don't do house parties. Now you can go to a party at main event, you can go to a party outside at an event place, but I just don't feel comfortable with house parties. Fun-loving, goofy, life of the party, likes to make you smile. It feels like somebody just took my heart and ripped it out. The lights, the police, so far away we couldn't get through. So I opened the door and said, let's go. And I took off running and I ran the whole way down because I just had to get to my baby.
He was running for his life. And yes, he was hit by a stray bullet. But the fact that this powerful weapon was in the hands of a child, it makes it where we have no safe spaces anymore. There's no more safety for our kids, for them to gather.
I'm in shock. I will say that.
Yeah, I would say that it's a lot of emotions going on at one time. So you can't really feel one thing, so you're feeling everything or nothing.
That's my little brother.
I met with the bus driver today. She came over and she said he would dap everybody from the back of the bus all the way to the front of the bus. He would have to make sure everybody in there is smiling. So he was just a fun-loving kid. This bow tie is his signature mark. Whenever we had to dress up to go anywhere, he got this bow tie out. And I'm representing him right now with this bow tie.
Ajanaye, who our family affectionately called AJ, had not long been dropped off by her mother. The woman shared that she couldn't make sense of the heart-shattering calls she received, especially because of that. Sadly, when she returned to the scene, she saw her daughter lying in the street.
Ajanaye Hill leaves behind her twin brother Ahmad. The family of the Douglas High freshman is in disbelief.
I was hysterical. I was crying. I went back to the scene, because where I had just dropped her off at, that's where it happened at. It was taped off with caution, but I did see her laying in the street.
On March 11th, Ajanaye's homegoing service was held at Golden Memorial United Methodist Church in Douglasville. The ceremony, which was live-streamed, showed an intimate service where her life was celebrated, a young, promising life gone so soon. Following the service, her family and friends gathered at a reception which her mother had beautifully decorated in her daughter's honor. On March 14th, Samuel Moon's family, friends, and the community gathered at First Baptist Church of Douglasville to pay their final respects to the 15-year-old. Attendees wore his signature red bow tie in his honor.
Samuel, Boo-Boo, you are my best friend, but before all of that, you were my baby brother. And that red bow tie that made you famous, you borrowed it, it's mine. But I'll let you borrow it forever. I love you.
It was such a sad occasion, but his family's day ended with uplifting news, though it wouldn't bring their loved one back. Deputies released videos of 3 teenagers being taken into custody but didn't immediately identify them or announce the charges against them. The video showed one teen in red pants being led into the sheriff's office with his hands handcuffed behind his back, while another video showed a teenager in a gray hoodie and another teen in a black hoodie, both in handcuffs, already inside the sheriff's office. The teens made their initial court appearances the next day. DCSO also held a press conference in which they provided further details to the community.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Pound, the Sheriff of Douglas County. On the 14th of March, yesterday, we arrested 3 individuals connected to our mass shoot/slide on the 4th of this month. Following folks we have in custody is a Timothy Lamar Coleman, Chase Terrence McDowell, and Chance Terrell McDowell. Each one of them is charged with the following charges: 2 counts of mass murder, 9 counts of aggravated assault, 7 counts of aggravated battery, and other charges are pending, including participation in activity.
This afternoon, seen here, deputies arrested a 4th suspect, 17-year-old Kingston Cotman.
You know, yesterday we laid Samuel to rest, and we were leaving the cemetery and we got the news, and it was a bittersweet moment for us to just think and imagine that we are now part of something that is related, and this has a connection to, again, it's just mind-blowing.
Well, this is my first time hearing about being guilty when I just start talking to you guys.
Sheriff Tim Pounds tells me tips helped lead to these arrests, but the callers didn't even want the $40,000 reward.
We did call this, found out it was a gang hit, it was gang related, and it was the folks that was hurt and killed were not the intended target. They was innocent bystanders. So this case is still very, very active, and we have a lot more work to be done on this case.
Sheriff, what led you to these 3 people?
Hard, old-fashioned police work.
Do you have eyewitnesses?
We have one. But like I said, that's active. I don't want to get too deep into these questions.
Are they brothers, the Chance and Chase?
Twins.
Twins, they're twins.
What's the name of that king? Sheriff.
I ain't gonna give them no airtime. I ain't gonna decorate them on the air. They related to you, but I don't want to dress them up. But we're gonna get to them too.
Sheriff, do you expect any other arrests related to this?
Definitely. More arrests is pending.
Do you think that these are the shooters?
Yes, ma'am. To a certain degree.
And did all 3 fire shots?
Don't know they're still active.
Are all 3 of these, or any of these high school students?
2 of them, the twins were.
How old are they?
17.
And how old is Mr. Coleman?
18.
Sheriff, why was it important? We saw the video of you walking the suspects in. Why was it important for you to actually have your hands on them and show the public them being walked in?
Simply because I told my community and the public that I was going to catch these guys that committed this terrible crime in my county. And I worked along with my investigators to do exactly that. I was there doing the takedown part. I seen it when they got off where they were standing. I saw all of them standing right there looking at them. I just didn't actually go put the cuffs on, but I was there when the cuffs was put on them.
And how rewarding was that?
Real reward, very, very rewarding, because that was my job, and that's what I promised, and that's what I've done. They were arrested in Cobb County.
At one of their homes, or?
No, ma'am. Open in the public.
Were they in a vehicle?
They get in a vehicle.
Sheriff, what's the thing you got there in the bag?
This was one of the weapons that was used that we took off of him.
Which one?
Which one?
Timothy.
What kind of weapon is that?
It's a #9.
And he had that at the time of the arrest?
Well, to be honest with you, it was 2 arrested, 2 folks there. 2 of them. One of them was connected to our case. They passed to him to hold, but it was confiscated during the time he was arrested.
Sheriff, do you believe that gun was involved in the murder?
I certainly do.
And you believe that gun was in the hands of Coleman at the time of Coleman's arrest?
Yes.
But you believe it was part of the show before?
Possible. I don't know. We don't know that just yet. There's indication, but we just can't say, yeah, it was. We won't do that yet.
Of course, they were there that night. Were they there at the party and then asked to leave, or did they show up to the crowd?
Now that, I know they was at the party. I don't know the second part of the question. I don't know the answer
So
to
they
that.
were at the original party, and then the same group that left and was on the street.
Yes,
when the
ma'am.
shooting occurred.
Sheriff, we ask these questions because, in particular, one parent says she wants answers. She wants to know how this happened. That would give her some sort of peace and some sort of sanity.
I understand that, but in order for me to get that to her, I got to clear it all. And right now it's so active, I can't answer a lot of those questions.
Let me get a clarification because I'm not as familiar with this case. You're saying your suspects left the party and came back?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. But they were there.
All the time I said they was there.
Did they ever go in the house?
That I don't know.
So there was no car that did a drive-by?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
The twins, were they also arrested in Cobb County or were they arrested in Douglas County?
Douglas County.
At their home?
No, ma'am.
Were they arrested here
Yes, ma'am.
when they came to pick up something?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all.
One more thing, is there a message you want to send to the parents of the victims today on this important day?
You know, it was so sad as we was coming in with the inmate yesterday. They was burying a little guy that they murdered. And I'm gonna say this to the people, and I hope they really abide by it. Parents can't be children's friends. Parents got to be parents. Now these kids are so young to be committing such horrible crimes. And then once again, it comes from home raising. You got to go back to being a parent. You got to do that if we're gonna get a handle on our children, because we lose them at a fast pace. And it's gonna take the parents to assist me in helping stop this, and the community.
Sheriff, did you walk all three of them in yesterday?
I did.
If you're carrying weapons, leave them at home, turn them in, do something. It's just not worth your life.
Moon's obituary read, Samuel was born on March 30th, 2007 in Austell, Georgia to Beverly Leffler and Shendy Moon. He was a STEM student at Lithia Springs High School with an anticipated graduation date of 2025. Samuel had a passion for music and enjoying time with his friends and family. He frequented outdoor spaces and loved to hike, fish, and be in and on the water. He was known for his sense of humor, his infectious smile, big hugs, and his compassionate spirit. Samuel also had a strong relationship with Jesus Christ and loved reading the Bible during family devotion time. May the family and friends of Ajanaye Hill and Samuel Moon find solace in the happy memories, and may their souls rest in perpetual peace. My thoughts and prayers are also with those affected and in recovery. Thank you.